It is Monday, the 10th of February, 2025, and my video wasn't able to work properly, the one that I just finished, and so I was going to do a test video just to make sure that like things were functioning properly, and lo and behold, now my videos I'm able to present them, and so I really wanted to share this video with everyone because it's so interesting, and it does connect a lot of the dots together, and so without further ado, Harry B. Joseph, I've listened to a lot of his content, and wow, it is so interesting.
Special electromagnetic energy that's charging you. This is why the religions run by the Vatican is all external. They're exoteric. Exoteric means external teaching. The 10% of your mind. The conscious part of your mind is only aware of everything around you. Your vision, your sight, your smell, your taste, your hearing, and your current state of emotion and thought. Every thought that you consciously think about has an emotion directly attached to it. That emotion is then impressed onto the subconscious part of the mind. The subconscious part of the mind is the female aspect of your mind. It is also a whopping 90% of your mind. Subconscious mind is controlling all of the subconscious processes which happen within your body. For example, your subconscious mind is controlling your heartbeat, your digestion of food, and all of the things that you do not have to tell the body to do. It is the hidden part of our mind which is controlling all of the hidden things. The subconscious mind is like a recording supercomputer. Everything that you have experienced in your life is all recorded and stored within the subconscious mind. One of the most important things about your subconscious mind is that it stores your mental programs. Everything in the subconscious mind manifests into behavior and actions within the body. Your daily basis routine and habits are all mental programs within your subconscious mind. These mental programs are created by mainly two ways. 1, repetition, and 2, emotional impact. The repetition is fairly simple to understand. The more you do something, the more it impresses onto your subconscious mind and becomes a program. That program will then manifest into your behavior. However, with the emotional programs, they work a bit different. The stronger that you feel an emotion, the stronger it is impressed onto the subconscious mind. And then that emotion becomes a program. For example, you had a very traumatic moment happen when you were a young child. The emotion that you felt was so strong in that moment that it impressed into your subconscious mind so hard that you can recall that moment like it was yesterday. That traumatic event that happened to you when you were young will still manifest into your daily basis behavior even to this day. However, it manifests subconsciously. For example, if you were in a car crash, you will be wary to enter cars with certain people, all because of that traumatic emotion that you felt and impressed onto your subconscious mind. Another example of the subconscious manifesting behavior is posting on Instagram. Most of the time, the reason why you post is because your subconscious mind is seeking gratification. So before you actually do something, question yourself and find out the root cause of why you are doing this. Another thing that you need to understand about the subconscious mind is that it takes everything you say in here literally. So for example, if you go and say, you are an idiot to someone, your subconscious mind will only pick up the word idiot. It only knows yourself. It doesn't know anyone else. You are casting a spell on yourself just by saying that to someone else. This is why the golden rule is to treat others like you'd like to be treated. Now, you can rewrite these programs which are already in your subconscious mind. However, it does take consistency. You have to change these programs which have been running for years. And by changing these programs, you change your behavior because these programs manifest into your behavior. The best way to do this, personally, is to listen to affirmations first thing when you wake up in the morning and do this for 10 minutes every single morning. Then at nighttime, you want to think and feel that you are becoming the reality that you desire. The more that you feel this reality, the more it will become a program and impress your subconscious mind. For example, you're trying to get financial freedom. If you trick your subconscious mind into creating a program saying that you are financially free, this will manifest into your behavior. You will start doing more work. You will start looking for ways to make money. Your mind will be set on the frequency of money and financial freedom. Therefore, you will receive thoughts based around this program. If you take enough action, your life will dramatically change because of this program that you created in the mind. This is why we call it a mindset, because your mind is a frequency tuner which sets its frequency onto different thoughts, because thoughts are frequency. If you fill your mind with a specific frequency, you will gain thoughts and ideas based around that frequency. To create a stable mind, you need to master your emotions. You need to change your mindset. Everything that you experience is neutral. Based upon the mindset that you see it,
you either give it a positive or negative charge. By understanding this deeply, you will then control your emotions. I hope you gained some wisdom and enjoyed this video. Please, if you can, leave a comment and a like, and subscribe to the channel if you like this content. Love and light to you all.
What is good, people? It's Revival of Wisdom. Today we're going to be talking about Saturn. I've done this video in the past. However, this video is going to contain a lot more in-depth explanation of Saturn. So the 33rd degree Mason, Manly P. Hall, said, Saturn is the key to crystallization, physical matter. Light is matter, matter is light. They're interchangeable. Low vibrating light turns into matter, high vibrating matter turns into light. And Saturn is the god of this world, this physical world. He crystallizes light into matter. This symbolizes the Masonic checkered board, matter and spirit, matter and light, light and matter. He's also the god of time, destruction, justice. He creates and destroys, because all things in time die. He creates and destroys you. So, because we live in this physical world, which is the electric world, this is why we say electricity, because it comes from the root word of El, Saturn. They used to call Saturn El, E-L. This is why we used to say Elohim is God. The real God of this world is Saturn, but it's being hid. This is being hid. Jesus is Saturn. All of this is Saturn. It's all Saturn worship. It's the real God of this world, So, physical matter is a result of two opposing forces equalized on the plane of inertia, because everything is created out of electromagnetic toroidal fields. And these two poles equalize on the plane of inertia, which gives you planet Earth, plane of inertia. The plane of inertia is what Saturn is. It's the ring around the center of the plane of inertia. Thank you to Walter Russell saying, physical matter is a result of two opposing forces on the plane of inertia. This is what Walter Russell says, so please check out his work. He's got many books, many books on light and electromagnetism and stuff like that. So I advise you to check him out. So the torus field gives you the binary code 0 and 1.
I've got Walter Russell's The Universal One, the Gennaro radiative concept, or the cyclic theory of continuous motion, The Secret of Light, just on my desk.
Female vagina and the male phallus. This is the code for this world. Saturn. Saturn crystallizes physical matter. Now, Saturn is the most outermost layer of the stars of heaven, where it says in the Quran, it says, Allah, it is He who created the 7 layers of heaven. Saturn is the outermost layer. He's the top. He's the most high. So when we say the most high, we're referring to Saturn. He's the most high before the firmament, before the stars. So Saturn is the god of this world. He's the Lord of the Rings. He wears the crown. The crown is the rings. Crown, Kronos. So the planets are luminaries. They are lights. They are beings. They are energy, conscious energy. And we're in the heart of the solar system. Saturn is the outermost layer. He is the one of this world. He's the god of this world. Now, on the North Pole of Saturn, you have the hexagon. Add up all the sides. It creates the 6-pointed star. Or it can be created as a cube. The cube is very important. The 6-pointed star is very important. 6 points, 6 triangles, 6 side, 6, 6, 6. Black cube adds up to 6 in gematria. Now, what did I say in the beginning? Saturn crystallizes the physical world, creates physical things out of light. You are a light being. This is why we say human. Hue means the light spectrum. Hue, man, we are light manifested into physical forms. Human. And we are incarnated through Saturn. Satan, same thing. The number of the beast is 666, and the 666 comes from the 6.6 triangle, 6 sides of Saturn, 666. We are all known as carbon-based life forms. Carbon, the atomic structure of carbon, is 666, 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. We are materialized into our physical bodies through Saturn, through the number of the beast. These bodies are the beast, it's the animal. The divine, the Christ, is the consciousness within, because you're a physical, spiritual being combined into one, hexed into one. Hexagram. This is a hexagram. You're hexed into physical matter, spirit and matter, light and dark, combined into one. Now you contain of the mark of the beast, the mark of your body. Your body's the beast. It says in the Bible, Satan, who is the god of this world. This world. There are many different worlds, but this world is run by Saturn, and it says that in the Bible. Saturn is Satan. It's the same thing. And look at the crown of thorns are wrapped around the heart. The soul is in the heart. The mind is in the brain. The soul is wrapped around the rings of Saturn. You're wrapped in physical matter. This is what it's showing you. This is symbolizing the rings of Saturn wrapping you. And the cross on top is the cross of the cube. The cube, the black cube of Saturn, unfolds into a cross. So Satan, who is the god of this world, Corinthians 4:4 in the Bible, Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. Saturn blinds your mind because the god of this world materializes you, and he blinds your mind when you incarnate into physical matter. When you enter this soul system, not the solar system, you hit Saturn first. He materializes you. And look at the symbol for Saturn. This is the symbol for Saturn. All of the planet symbols are created out of the Holy Trinity. The Earth, Moon, and Sun. Body, mind, and soul. The sun is your soul, the moon is your mind, the earth is your body. Your body's made up of 5 elements. The sun is your soul, because the sun is life force. Gives life to everything. Your sun is a soul. Your soul is the sun of your body. The moon is the mind. The moon is the moon of your body, the mind of your body. Intelligence. So all of the symbols of the planets are created out of these. The Saturn symbol is created out of the Earth cross, matter, and the moon crescent, moon, mind. Matter over mind. This is why Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. He blinds your mind. Look at the symbol, it's showing you. The Saturn symbol is matter over mind when it should be mind over matter. So we descend into a soul system, into our 666 Saturn carbon suit bodies, and we are matter over mind. Then we have to move up the spine to go back up to spirit, to mind over matter, where you manipulate your own reality. Now look at this. It creates the number 5. 5 is the number of change. You're moving from this side of the number sequence over to the right side. You're moving from the spiritual into the physical world. You're incarnating into the 5 elements, the 5 senses. So the cube, the black cube of Saturn, is another major symbol. Very important symbol. Here you see the cube, and the color black is associated with Saturn because Saturn's associated with death. He creates and destroys. Light and dark. Death is associated with black, spirit, because you can't see spirit, which is blackness. So the black cube is black because Saturn rules the nighttime, which is dark, blackness, and he rules the winter, which is death, blackness. So Saturn is the black cube. Cubes have 6 sides: up, down, right, left, back, and forward. Cubes are 6-sided. Everything is 6-sided inside of this creation, because you're incarnating, you're materializing, crystallizing into the cube, the world of the cube. Everything's a cube. Everything's got 6 sides. Here's Leonardo da Vinci showing you that. You're in the cube. Leonardo da Vinci did this famous painting. You're in the cube. You're hexed into physical matter, or you're incarnated into the 3rd dimension, the 3-dimensional world, which is a cube, 3D. And black cube adds up to 6 sides of the black cube. The Kabbalah means cube god in Arabic. And look at what they do. They worship the cube, the black cube, and they stand in rings like the rings of Saturn. Australia, Denmark, Manhattan, Santana all have these black cubes. You go to New York, you will see the black cube there as well. These black cubes are everywhere because it is the real god of this world, So look at the cross. The cross unfolds into the cube. Xbox, Nintendo GameCube, Sega Saturn, anything to do with a simulated gaming reality, they put Saturn in it because we're in the simulation of Saturn. This is a simulation. And this is why they reflect this through the Xbox, GameCube, Sega Saturn, anything to do with gaming, simulations, is all Saturn. because we're in the cube of Saturn, the black cube. We're in the GameCube, the Xbox, the Sega Saturn. As above, so below. So they reflect it through the simulations that they create inside of this simulation. Cubes have 8 points for the 8 points of time and space. 8 is the number of time. Everything's cycling, infinity. So look at the cube. The cube is symbolized as in Judaism. The Judees have the black cube. They wrap themselves in a black band and they cover their eyes into blackness. The black cube for the black cube of Saturn. They use the star of Saturn and they worship their god on Saturn Day because it's all Saturn worship. Look how the Saturn god is wrapped around with these thorns or leaves, just like Jesus is wrapped around his heart. And Jesus on the cross is us on the cross. We are in the cross. We are in the cube. The cross is the cube. And the cross is even in the Saturn symbol. This is another symbol for Saturn. There's two symbols. You got this one, the one I've just broke down, and there's this one. This is the cross of Saturn, the cube god, the simulation, the game cube. Now, Chronos is another word for Saturn. Chronos means time. And you clock into work, you go to the Chronos machine, well, I did anyway, and I'd tap my card on the Chronos, because Chronos is time. Anything to do with time is Saturn. He creates and destroys. Look at the artwork of Saturn with the sand, the time. Look at this, how he's cutting off the baby's wings. He's crystallizing the spirit into matter. He's cutting off your wings. Satan, in the Bible, he falls from heaven into earth, and he loses his wings. He becomes a serpent. See that? It's all symbolic for us. We are the fallen angels, fallen angles of light. We're fallen angles of light. We are light beings. Now we've fallen into physical matter. Saturn's chopped off our wings. He's chopped off our spirit wings, because when you astral project, you can fly. You will fly around. He's got the Reaper staff here, always depicted with the Reaper staff. Now look at the clock. Saturn Day is the 6th day, the number of the beast, 666. Look at the clock. 6 take away 12. Sorry, 12 take away 6 equals 6. 7 take away 1 equals 6. 8 take away 2 equals 6. 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 2 plus 4 equals 6. That's 666. Everything's 666 because it's time. Saturn. All goes to Saturn. He's the god of time. We're in time now. We're in time. We're in
See, I don't
the time,
subscribe to the whole
God,
thing regarding that.
the god of this world. The god of time. Now look at this. The Reaper is also depicted as the Reaper with the staff, the black cloak, black symbolizing death, spirit. Judges wear black because Saturn is the law. He's the god of this world. He's the law. This is why they wear black cloaks. When you graduate from university, you wear a black cloak and a black cube on your head. You've been hexed. Funerals, you wear black because it's all to do with Saturn, Father Time, Father Crystallization. Now Saturn, here's another one of him cutting off the wings of a child. Because he cuts off the wings. He creates and destroys your body. We're in the electrical world. Everything that is electrical vibrates. All vibrations have to come back to a standstill point, which is death. This is why your body dies. Your atoms stop
Everything that
vibrating.
is electrical vibrates, yet light that is void of electrons, photons allegedly vibrate.
Corona. Look at the crown. The crown is the corona. Corona means crown. And look at this is an alcohol brand for beer. You can see the staff of Saturn in the symbol with the moon crescent. Corona, which is the crown, Saturn, the crown on Saturn, the rings. And then you've got the staff. It's all Saturn worship. There's the black cubes of 9/11. 2 black cubes. This was a ritual for Saturn. It's all ritualistic. And look at the Star of David, the Star of Saturn. It's not the Star of David. It creates IXXI, the sigil of Saturn. IXXI means 9/11 in Roman numerals. 9/11. It's all a ritual for Saturn, and they have the 2 black cubes of Saturn. Now look at XX. There's more symbolism of Saturn now. We're going deeper. XX is more symbolism for Saturn. The sigil of Saturn is XX, as above, so below. Same with the Star of David. You split it in the middle, as above, so below, as above, so below. XX. This is a Knights Templar Cross of Lorraine. XX. Knights Templar, High Order of Masonry. They all worship Saturn. Well, Saturn's the real god of this world. X Eon with the XX. XXL magazines, which is all to do with famous rappers and stuff like that.
That's DUSSO, I think it is. That's a cognac. Is that a cognac?
When you die, you put XX on the eyes because it's Saturn. He's the Reaper.
I know that because similar to my last name, Dussault.
Is Jesus with the XX crown with the thorns around his heart, around his soul, with the cube on the top, the cross cube. Le Lucifer with the XX Cross of Lorraine. Jay-Z with his alcohol brand, XX Cross of Lorraine. The X Factor with the ring
alcohol brand. It might be a different one, just
of Saturn.
Symbol.
All Saturn worship. The seal of Melchizedek is also Saturn. This is the cube. This symbolizes the cube with the 8 points for the 8 points of space and time.
Do say.
And this is the cube. It's another ancient symbol for Saturn. Here you see the star of Saturn with the Melchizedek symbol around it, which is all to do with Saturn. Here you see an altar, the Holy Grail, the Melchizedek symbol on it, and they're worshipping it. This is why we wear rings, wedding rings for the rings of Saturn. It all goes back to Saturn. Earrings. The 8-pointed star of the ancient Sumerians is all Saturn. It's all Saturn. So the ancients, the symbols of Saturn goes on forever. It's in all of the major corporations. You can see it everywhere, the rings of Saturn. Toyota is an obvious one. Internet, Nike, Target, Sega, Saturn. It's all Saturn worship. All Saturn worship. Because he is the real god of this world. Here's Kanye West's album with a Saturn here. Here's Michael Jackson's album saying X, escape. There's the X again. The X, escape. You have to escape this reality. Maybe that's what he's pointing at. Here you see it on the dollar bill. The star of Saturn. Here you see it again on the dollar bill. So that is it for today's people. I hope you all gain some insight on Saturn. Please like, comment,
and
share if you can. Subscribe if you like the channel. Please have an amazing day. God bless.
Iron balls or whatever, like magnetized balls you put between magnets, like they actually organize and occupy like the most efficient amount of space.
Our mother is carrying us the product in the womb, the water. And it goes, for example, it goes from the United Kingdom into a state-owned, corporate, federal-owned hospital, which is government. Change our DNA is to literally make us robots, transhumanism, slaves.
There we go.
But in the beginning, that God created heaven and earth. Furthermore, we declare, we proclaim, we define that it is absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subjected to the Roman pontiff. So they are claiming us in Unum Sanctum, and it's in the vaults in the Vatican. They will put a spell on it because they are sorcerers, they are magicians. They put a spell on it, they lock it up, and whatever goes on that piece of paper goes. And this Unum Sanctum is claiming all of us. So what does it say in the beginning? The spiritual man judges of all things, and he himself is judged by no man. The spiritual man, the man with the body, mind, and soul, the first baby that comes out the birth canal. That's you, your body, you, body, mind, soul. You have the Christ, which is I am, which is grace. Grace means here, now, in the present. You have the Christ, which means I am. Therefore, you have a soul. If you can say I am, you have the Christ. You have a soul. But a creature can be anything with no soul. You see, so no man can judge the man with soul. However, as it says in the second part, we proclaim, we define that it's absolutely necessary for salvation that every human creature to be subject to the Roman pontiff. So they are subjecting the afterbirth, not the man with the body, mind, and soul, but the afterbirth to the Roman pontiff, to the Roman Catholic Church. We are the ones who are claiming to be the afterbirth material, which is our birth certificate, which is our representative. We represent that because it is our DNA. This is how we are stuck. We are stuck because we represent this DNA, which is on paper, recorded. You see? So we, being taught, uneducated in these subjects. We are subjecting ourselves to this system, to this slavery, because we just want to live. We just want to live happily, just peaceful. Think about it. Where's all this coming from? Where's all this war, all this killing, deaths coming from? We just want to live. It's coming from the Catholic Church, these evil death cult, which has subjected us, which has used us as slaves, and we are still slaves, and it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So this is how we have subjected ourselves to be the slaves to this system. It's a lot to take in, and there's a lot more deeper stuff which goes into this. I'm just going over the surface. I'm going quite deep, but there's little details that I still need to learn myself. But this is the general how that we've been stuck to this slave system. So we are batteries, okay? This is why we get charged. When you go in a court, you get charged, okay? Because you're a biological battery. This is why cities look like motherboards, because we are feeding energy to this matrix. Okay, when we look outside of ourselves, when we give power to so-called Jesus Christ, worshipping idols outside of ourselves, where attention goes, energy flows. We are feeding the matrix with energy. By looking within, placing your attention within yourself, you are taking back your power. Because the I am is Christ. The you, the soul, is Christ. It's God. The awareness is God. Okay? However, we are subjecting ourselves to this system. We're subjecting ourselves to this system, and the feeding of our energy. So what we need to look for the future is that, think about it, with the end goal is to change our DNA, is to literally make us robots, transhumanism, slaves. This is why we have smart cars, smart phones, smart watches, smart meters, smart cities.
Yep.
And all of this is
Not
going to be
wrong.
connected by the smart
damn it.
grid, which is 5G. This is why 5G is rolling out. 5G is going to connect all of these technologies to one. It's like a net system. And you know why they're doing this? It's because all of this is going to be connected through AI, through this 5G, and that 5G is going to be controlled by the elites. So you say anything wrong, you do something wrong, you say the wrong thing online, they'll turn off your car, they'll turn off your phone, they'll turn off your smartwatch, they'll turn off your TV, because it's all going to be connected and controlled by the smart grid. And this is what the Great Reset is, people. But they're going to trap us inside of these 15-minute smart cities, so we can't leave the area, because they're going to use climate change as a tool to enslave us to not travel because of so-called climate change and the fumes that we are putting into the air, which is all BS. They're doing this to push these new cities, to push all of the... Listen, they're trying to get inside of your body. The only way they can do that is to get you addicted and using this technology. First, they got on the body with the smartphone. Well, first of all, we use the technology. We get used to it with it in our hand. The next step for them was to get on the body, which is the Apple Watch, as you see down here. They have now successfully got onto the body. The next thing is to get inside of the body. This is the brain chip. You see how they've slowly lured their way in, slowly got you addicted to this technology, got you dependent on this technology. And what they're going to do is that they're going to mold society to be dependent on the brain chip. So in order, for example, if you want to go and pay for food, you're going to have to get a chip to pay for the food, because it's all going to be digital money. And that digital money will be connected to the chip, and you'll need the chip to pay for things. You see? So this is how they're slowly transhumanizing us. These phones, these apps, these things which are all we are using was created by Freemasons. Mason means traveler, because they travel the depths of the mind. They understand human consciousness. They understand the brain. They understand the mind. By the deepest root cause, they understand it. This is what Masonry is. It's the occult. So these technologies is designed by these people. This is why they're so addictive, because they understand how it works. They understand how to get people addicted, because they understand human consciousness, the brain, the body, and the mind. So this is the advantage Freemasons have over us, and these secret societies, which have gone through the orders of Freemasonry, and progressed onto these secret societies, which are the evil side, because I'm not saying Freemasonry is evil, okay? The societies which they go beyond Freemasonry, because you can go beyond the 33rd degree into these secret societies, and they use this knowledge for the bad, to enslave people. And this is what's going to happen. Transhumanism. So I hope you all learned some insight for today. Please do a bit more research on, the birth certificate and stuff like that, the straw man. And have an amazing day, people. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.
6, 7, 8 beams coming off the luminary, just like the 8-pointed star. So you see the ladder with the key going up to Polaris. It's symbolizing ascending out of Earth. So what is this key that they're keeping from us? Because it's a human holding a key going up the ladder to Polaris. Well, chakras. We have 7 chakras. Okay, so this is what they are telling us in the lock and key symbolism. The Kundalini energy rising up the spine. Okay, just like they have 33 vertebrae on the back of your spine. Okay, this represents the Kundalini energy going up your 33 vertebrae, just like a masonry has 33rd degrees. Okay, so what is the key? Your chakras. Your chakras have to be unlocked. Okay, you have to unlock your chakras, and you can't unlock this one without going through this one. You have to go through them all. It's like a ladder, just like Jacob's ladder. You can't go from the bottom to the top. You have to unlock each one. Okay, just like you have 7 chakras, you have 7 layers of your aura. Okay, you have to unlock your chakras to the highest point in order to reach Christ consciousness. And this is the key that they're talking about. They're symbolizing the organic portal within each and every one of us to ascend out of this realm. Okay, so this is the key that they're talking about, and they're holding back this knowledge to keep us trapped in this 3D realm. Okay, so like I was saying with the 33 vertebrae and the Kundalini energy coming up the spine, 33 vertebrae, you can see this sort of symbolism going up to the light, because it's the light you see here. Your crown chakra turns on and becomes enlightened, just like the Illuminati symbol. Can you see it? But also Jesus also died at 33. So this is symbolizing, okay, they're symbolizing the death of the ego, the body. So once you open up your chakras and reach Christ consciousness, which is your 33rd vertebrae, once your Kundalini energy goes up your 33rd vertebrae, your body technically, not physically, but spiritually dies, because you then become formless. You reach Christ consciousness. So then you can travel other worlds. Okay. This is what they're talking about with Vatican, 8-pointed star and the key. Janus with the key. The Sumerians with the 8-pointed star. Anunnaki, the 8-pointed star. Polaris, 8-pointed star. So Polaris is the way out of this realm, which is at the center. Pole, North Pole. Okay, so the key is that they're hiding from us is the knowledge to unlock our chakras. Okay, and without this knowledge that they keep from us, is trapping our souls in this reality to keep reincarnating. Okay, well, thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to leave you all there.
Because you see, the apple is the torus field. So they were metaphorically or personifying the torus field. That's what the Bible is. It's a massive personification. It's all metaphors. You have to read it properly. It's got a greater meaning behind it. Now, when we bit from the apple, we ate from the tree of knowledge, which is good and evil. Our lower mind took over, so we materialized to feed our physical bodies. We materialized through Saturn. That's what Saturn does. Now, if you don't understand that, go and watch the video previous to this one called Occult Secrets of Saturn, and that will show you how Saturn is the materializer. Now, this is one of the secrets behind the Masonic compass, electric and magnetic, male and female, duality, positive and negative. Now, like I said, they teach you about the torus field, about a magnet in school, but they don't teach you about your electromagnetic field. Everything alive has a torus field. It is the building block of this creation. Absolutely everything has a torus field. There's not one thing without it. And as you can see here at the center of the apple, that's where the seed is. That's where the life is, the reproduction of that organism. As you see, this is where the most electromagnetic energy is stored, in the center, because this is where the two duality, this is where the field meets, at the very center. This is why the seed is at the very center. Now, your spine is a elongation of the brain. The brain is heaven, and the bottom of the spine is hell. So this is Saturn, which is the root chakra. The 7 planets are associated with each chakra. Moon equals mind. Okay, now Saturn
Ground versus the root chakra.
is physical matter, as I've just explained.
And the root chakra is connected with Saturn.
This is the lowest vibrational color. And
My dogs are
they
barking.
want you trapped down here, which is your hell state, your animal nature, your physical nature. They want you to identify as the physical body. They don't want you to reach these higher states of consciousness. Okay? Now, in the brain, you have 12 convolutions. Now, this is what they were symbolizing in the Bible with the 12 disciples. And obviously in the Bible, it says the upper room where Jesus met with his disciples. This is heaven, the brain, the higher states of consciousness. Now, this is your North Pole. This is Jacob's ladder. Okay, this is why you have 33 levels of Freemasonry, because it's symbolizing the 33 vertebrae, which are these little things here on the back of your spine. Because once the Kundalini energy from the bottom of your spine rises to the top, this is when you get enlightenment and opens your third eye. Spiritual enlightenment. As you can see here, this is Jacob's ladder. This is the Kundalini symbol, right? And they're even showing you this in the medical symbol. They're putting it in your face. The serpents are wrapped around the spine. Now, the serpents symbolize how the energy moves around the spine, because it's a torus field, you see? At the center of the torus field, it wraps around the center pole. It wraps around it, and this is how the energy moves up. So they're symbolizing it with the serpents. Okay? Now, every religion has a sacred river. For the Egyptians, it's the River Nile. For Christianity, it's the Jordan River, right? This river is the canal, the energy canal at the center of your spine, all the way leading to heaven, to the Holy Land. This is the chamber which the energy rises up, right? Now, they used to say that gods descended from heaven to man. This is just heaven. This is the mind state. And they said the gods were connected by a rainbow bridge. That's the chakra system, the rainbow bridge. Okay, now the ancients called this place Midgard, Earth, where both evil and good live, right? Midgard. But you can go to heaven, which is a pure mind state, because once you're in heaven, nothing negative can ever bother you. That's completeness, pure Christ consciousness. Now, this is why Jesus dies at 33. He didn't actually die, but it's symbolizing the death of the physical body. Not the death of the physical body, but his consciousness rising above the physical body to, as I said here, matter to spirit. Matter died off and he came spirit consciousness. This is symbolized by the 33 vertebrae, which is obviously the 33 levels of Freemasonry. And now the pineal gland, which is at the very top of this Jacob's ladder, or the River Jordan, the canal, your 33 vertebrae on your spine. This is where the pineal gland sits, right? At the very top, at the center of your brain. Now, there's multiple ways this was symbolized. The Eye of Ra, which is used by the Egyptians. Now, this pineal gland is the seat of consciousness. This is where your consciousness is stored, right? And the ancient Sumerians used the pine cone, hence why it's got the word pineal gland.
And I wanted to talk about advanced technologies, I know, randomly, and how people are moving around as I'm trying to talk. People are misinterpreting ancient symbols. And I've had this conversation a few years ago now when I was on Andreas Zertis's podcast. He's really smart. And he had on Burn Eye, who is, I believe, an electrical engineer. But I was talking about, and Andreas had put up like images of hieroglyphs and petroglyphs that showed what I believe to be energy harnessing advanced like poles to harness the energy from the ether, and some having cable, some not, and how people are alleging that these are like light bulbs or like other things or like representations of a lotus and like none of that shit. It's literally advanced energy harnessing technologies, similar to but likely more advanced than our poles, our electric poles that we have present day. And so I wanted to show you just like someone else's interpretation of the Dendera light bulb. What they're calling a Dendera light bulb. Carl Fegan's. I'm going to show this like to again give another perspective, but then he's going to show images as well. So.
And historic archaeology, as well as. Hi, I'm archaeologist Carl Fagans. If you like these videos and want to see more of my work, check out my blog, The Archaeology Review, at thearchaeologyreview.com and hotcupofjoe.net. There I mostly discuss fake, fraudulent, and fantastic claims in archaeology, but I also write about topics in historic archaeology, as well as the occasional product or book review. Thanks for watching. The Dendera light. Is it really a light bulb? If not, what is it? Really? I knew you were hoping to see Nick here with one of his stellar interviews or deep dives into ancient history, but he's still on the mend and asked me
light bulb.
if I might help out with a quick video. This is my first time ever hosting a YouTube video, but I'll try to keep it interesting. In the Temple of Hathor in Dendera, Egypt, are several panels with images of what appears to be a light bulb held by ancient Egyptians. Admittedly, the image does have the appearance of a light bulb, and it was probably Eric von Daniken that first suggested this is a light bulb, possibly in his 1996 book, The Eyes of the Sphinx.
Heute möchte ich einige Fragen aufwerfen und Antworten anbieten, die ganz bestimmt zu Kontroversen führen. Wie erleuchteten die alten Ägypter eigentlich ihre Oder? Ich bin ein Mann mit ketzerischen Gedanken. Kannten die alten Ägypter gar so etwas wie elektrisches Licht?
On page 172, he describes a panel on the north wall of Crypt 1C of the temple as having what can easily be imagined as a bulb with a socket and a wire leading to a junction box and an insulator, while a baboon with knives symbolizes the danger of electricity to the uninitiated. This may or may not be the first time one of the 5 or so panels showing this lotus snake bulb configuration was associated with light bulb, but much has been made of it since. And I have to admit, Von Daniken's right. It doesn't take a lot of imagination to see what he describes. It looks like a couple of guys holding a big light bulb or a flashlight. Regardless of the imagination, logic and reason tell us that this cannot be a light bulb. The technology to power a light bulb wasn't invented until thousands of years later. Looking closer, we can see the individual elements that are mentioned even by Von
Look at this. This is what I'm talking about, these like energy generating poles.
Daniken. The lotus flower, the snake, the jed pillar, the people, and the anthropomorphic figure of the baboon. And if we leave the rest to imagination and Von Daniken, we probably see the light bulb as well. However, it is very interesting to note what Von Daniken leaves out. The image he includes in his book is a sketch of the panel, very much like the one you see here. What he leaves out is contextually relevant, which is the rest of the panel, including the writing which describes the scene we're looking at. So rather than simply use our imaginations, we can just read.
There are a lot of places all over the world as well where the older text and images and symbols and even colors have been erased, and there have been others that have been superimposed or written over it.
What the ancient Egyptians had to say. Speaking the words of Harsumptus, the great god who dwells in Dendera, who emerges out of the lotus flower as a living Ba, whose completeness is elevated by the Kamatju images of his Ka.
Sorry, I gotta rewind.
As a living Ba, whose complete. Speaking the words of Harsumptus, the great god who dwells in Dendera, who emerges out of the lotus flower as a living Ba, whose completeness is elevated by the Kamatju images of his Ka, whose Seshemu image is revered by the crew of the day barge, whose body is carried by the jed pillar. Underneath his Seshemu image is the primal, and whose majesty is carried by the companions of his Ka. Gold, height 1 cubit. So as we can see, the Dendera light is not a light bulb at all, but a representation of Harsumptus, or Horus, who is emerging from the lotus flower.
And Horus is a representation of the sun, Isis, Osiris and Horus, God, sun, moon.
flower. But look back at this line drawing of the panel and think of the words again. Revered by
The
the
sun generates light.
crew of the day barge. The human figures in the image that are sitting, kneeling, and standing are actually on the deck of a barge, a ship, the hull of which curls around and forms the lotus flower. And from this flower emerges Horus as the serpent, held up by the Jed pillar, a symbol of stability often associated with the creator god Ptah and with Osiris, the god of the afterlife. A Jed pillar is a representation of the spine of Osiris. And if you notice the sections and the shape, it actually has the appearance of the vertebrae of a human spine. But notice in the
So he would believe that it would be a spine, but not some kind of like a electromagnetic post. Okay.
translation of the text I read, there are references to the Kamaju
Okay.
and Seshemu images. These were probably referring to actual statues of Horus, which were stored in this very vault. The murals on the wall and their accompanying texts are descriptions and inventories for items stored here. The Jed pillar is slaughter your enemies with the knife, and I will fall your opponent in the place of
Anyway, I wanted to show that because just differing perspectives of different symbols and hieroglyphs and petroglyphs from the past.
The seat of the soul consciousness. It produces DMT, dimethyltryptamine, which is known as the spirit molecule. And the pineal gland is wrapped in microcrystals. And we all know crystals transfer frequency and energy. Now, radios use crystals. A radio is a frequency transmitter turning a frequency into a frequency that we can hear with our ears, right? Because all the radios are actually playing right now in your ears. However, our ears can't pick it up, so the radio transmits it into a frequency that we can hear using crystals. So this is the power of crystals, and this is what our third eye is wrapped in, crystals. Now, this third eye is not actually your third eye, it's your first eye. When you're being materialized in your mother's womb, this is the first gland that is produced, and everything's built around it, because it is the consciousness. It is your consciousness. Your consciousness never dies, ever. It's an eternal essence. It lives forever. You never actually die. Only the mortal body dies. Now that's what we call life. Life is abided by time, and time is change. And change is what we call life, because everything's constantly moving and transforming into different things, right? Now let's not get off track. The pine cone is obviously, this is in the Vatican here. The pine cone is symbolized as the pineal gland, pine. And this is the opened pine cone. The opened pine cone means or symbolizes the awakened man, the awakened third eye. But the ones here, which the Sumerian gods are holding, these are shut pine cones, as in the unawakened man. But let's not get confused, people. These gods were not gods. They are human beings just like you. They reached Christ consciousness. They are nothing more special than you. They just had the ability to reach Christ consciousness. And obviously their knowledge was far more intelligent than ours, far more advanced than ours. They knew the truth about this reality to the depths. Now, the ancient Hindus had a goddess called Kundalini, which is said that she descended by the means of a ladder or a cord from heaven, which is symbolizing the spinal cord. Now, this is what Hickory Hickory Dock, the mouse went up the clock and came back down. This is all these stories like Santa as well. Santa comes up and then down the chimney. This is symbolizing the Christ oil. There's an oil which is produced in your pineal gland, right? And this oil travels down the spine. And once it's down on the spine, you must have to raise your consciousness, just like I said with the chakras. You have to raise your consciousness, raise your vibration to heat up this oil and turn it into a gas. And it travels back up the spine through like the serpents up the spine. And this awakens the third eye once it's coming back up the spine and hits the pineal gland. This is the secret behind Santa and Hickory Hickory Dock, because Santa comes down and feeds the presents and goes back up the chimney. And he lives in the North Pole, the positive pole. This is the North Pole, people, and the presence is your sacred oil. This oil, your physical body is the furnace. It's the spiritual furnace, which you have to heat up this oil by raising your frequency and turning it into a gas to rise up this chamber, the River Jordan, to your third eye, right? Now, This is an alchemical process. The body is the alchemical furnace. It says in the Bible, if therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be filled with light. I shouldn't have cut that out, but that's what it says. The light of the body is thine eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy eye shall be filled, their body shall be filled with light. This is symbolizing the pineal gland, enlightening the body, the spiritual body,
Which is almost in the shape of a
filled with
pine
light.
cone.
Now, as I said, they want you kept down here, which is the root chakra, which is your animal nature, which is obviously mind, matter over mind. This is the symbol of Saturn, right? As you say, we're built of body, mind, and spirit, the Holy Trinity. That is the sun, moon, and earth. The sun's your soul, solar. Moon is your mind. Earth, which is the cross, which is your physical body, the 5 elements, right? So body, mind, and spirit. So the Saturn symbol is actually made out of the cross on top, which is the earth, and the moon on the bottom, which is symbolizing matter over mind, because earth is physical matter. You don't want to be matter over mind. You need to be mind over matter. See, they want you identifying as your physical body. They don't want you to realize you're an eternal consciousness. You're an eternal essence of consciousness which never dies. They want you trapped in your animal nature. And this is why the Baphomet has a goat head, because it's symbolizing your animal nature, which is evil. Not evil, but you're more likely to do evil things, right? Which brings bad karma. That's your animal side. This is why the Baphomet has an animal goat head. As you can see here, he's got the Kundalini energy here. So when you see the inverted cross, the cross is your body, as you can see here. The inverted cross means your chakra's downwards, down here. Your head's down here. Your mind is down here. But your mind needs to be up here, which is the upwards cross, which is Christ consciousness. And as we all know, 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 planets, 7 chakras. Red light is low frequency and long range. This is why Saturn is the slowest moving celestial body. And it's the lowest chakra, because it's low frequency, long range. The moon being the crown chakra, which
Red.
is
Lowest.
high frequency. This is why the moon moves around the quickest. The moon is your crown chakra, which moon in mind. See,
The
so
infrareds.
there are multiple ways of your chakras becoming blocked. Now, each chakra has a specific intelligence. It has a specific thing that it's doing for the body, right? Now, this can be overused. It can be abused. For example, masturbation. That keeps you down here in your sacral chakra, because you're abusing the energy center. You're abusing your sexual energy, which is then becoming unbalanced. So this is how energy, this is why these centers are pulling more energy out your electromagnetic field, because these centers are wheels. The chakras just mean spinning wheel of energy. So when you're abusing these certain sensors, you're pulling energy out of your electromagnetic field, which is making your field weaker, which is making your frequency lower, which makes you prone to diseases, prone to lower negative energy, right? So you need to align these chakras. You need to unbalance them. And as you can see here, you can screenshot these to see how they're blocked. I'm not going to go over each one because it'll take me forever, but have a little read yourself. This is why they're blocked. Now, the ancients used to say Aum when they meditated. Now, these are the 7 vowels. There's not 5 vowels, there's actually 7. Now, when they say Aum, they're aligning all their chakras by saying this when meditated. This is where the Aum originated from. Now, emotion is energy in motion. So if you're feeling a certain way, that's the energy you've put in motion. It's a reflection. We live in a mirror reality. Everything's mirrored. Everything's mirrored. As within, so without, as above, so below. Everything's a reflection of some sort. So whatever you're feeling, you're doing something wrong. It's telling you you're doing something wrong from the root cause, because your energies are the effect. You're feeling the effect of something you've caused. The law of cause and effect. Nothing escapes it. Now, the Jehovah's Witness believe that exactly 144,000 faithful Christians go to heaven or be resurrected, right? This is not true. This is symbolic. 144,000 go to heaven. Now, the petals on the chakras, this is the root chakra, this is the crown chakra. Now, if you add up the first 5 chakras, the petals, add up the petals on the first 5 chakras, you get 48. And then you get to the third eye, which has 2 petals. 48 times 2 equals 96. 96 plus 48, which you got from here, equals 144. The last chakra has 1,000 petals. Times 144 times 1,000, you get 144,000. This is a frequency. This frequency is the frequency of the ascension up your chakras. This frequency this is a high frequency, which turns that oil into gas, which rises up the spine, activating your third eye. Right? So this is all the religions are all symbolic for this sacred secret of Christ consciousness. As it says in the Bible, the kingdom of God is within. It's not out there, people. You must look within yourself. You are God. You are a spark of his consciousness, infinite consciousness, right? So 144,000 is a frequency, and you must achieve this. Like I said, these people in the past, they're not gods, people. These were just humans. Nothing special. They just reach Christ consciousness. Now, they keep you in these lower vibrational states with the food, right? And as you can see here, all of these fast food restaurants are mainly are red and yellow, which are these lower states, these lower two chakras, lower vibrational colors, because they want you trapped down here in matter. And these foods are so low vibrational, they will keep you down here because your gut produces, I think it's like 80% of melatonin. Melatonin is your feel-good hormone. These foods will not make you feel good. This is very low vibrational meat. It's not meat, it's raw flesh. These animals are stripped from their family, put on a conveyor belt, watch their friends be tortured, and then get slaughtered in a slaughterhouse. Think of all the fear that's running through their blood, all the hormones, all the fear, and you're going to go and eat that very low vibrational energy. As you can see here, this is the light photons within fruit. You can see the life force in this fruit. You must think, feel, and do positive to raise your vibration. As you can see, earth equals heart. If you rearrange it, everything in nature is green, right? The aurora borealis is green. You must align all these chakras and then must on the heart, because the heart's the center of the Taurus field. You must become the consciousness in the center. So that's it for this video, people. Thank you all. God bless.
Now, sixth sign, Virgo, the Virgin, the only woman in the painting with no Adam's apple. Then we have the sun, Jesus, red and blue, red shift, blue shift.
You must look within yourself. You are God. You are.
And thousands of other gods, all born on the 25th of December.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's because casting down onto the earth, giving and then receiving.
Sorry, back to too much.
Libra,
I'm so sorry.
his two hands are equal, holding his arms out equally, because Libra is the two balanced scales. Libra is when the sun is balanced between the summer and the winter. It's being judged. The sun isn't balanced. That's what Libra is, the two scales. Capricorn is the goats have two horns, and you can see the two horns on his head here. See? So this is astrology. This what Leonardo da Vinci is depicting here. It's astrology. He knew the story of the Bible is all astrology. It's all based on astrology. The Son of God, the real sun. Now here are some Bible verses. I am the light of the world. Obviously, that's the sun. What other light is there that lights up the world? The moon can't do it. It's the sun, the one and only sun, our risen savior. Because if the sun didn't rise, we'd all be dead. So it's our risen savior. And it dies for our sins every night and then gets reborn every day. Now Jesus calms the storm. Mark 4:35-41. The disciples are all on a boat and there's a heavy storm. But Jesus is asleep. The disciple says, Jesus is asleep. We need to awake him. They wake up Jesus, and Jesus got up and rebuked the wind and said to the waves, quiet, be still. Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. Well, when Jesus was asleep, this is the sun not being risen. It's not risen yet. Because in the night times, that's when the storms happen on the sea, in the ocean. And when they awake Jesus, Jesus rises because he's the sun. He rises and everything calms. Because when the sun comes, the storms go. You see? So it's the sun. It's all about the sun. Here's another, Luke 22:10. A disciple asked Jesus, when will we know it's the end times? And Jesus says, as you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him to the house that he enters. Well, this is clearly talking about astrology, the topic that Christians think is satanic, when they don't realize the whole thing's based on astrology. Because the end times is the end of Pisces, which is the two fish, which is the age we've just gone out of. And you can see all these ancient churches here with two fishes, because they knew it was the age of Pisces. It's an ancient photo, ancient artwork with the two fish, Pisces. And the end times, as it talks about in the Bible, when Christians think the world's going to end or something. But no, it's just the end of Pisces. As you enter the city, a man carrying a jar will meet you. Follow him to the house. The house is the zodiac sign that he enters. And the zodiac sign is Aquarius, because that's what it is, a man carrying the water. We know this is astrology because a woman, that is a woman's job in the ancient times. In the ancient times, the woman used to get the water. You would never see a man collecting water back then. That was the woman's job, whilst the man builds the houses, for example. You see, so we know it's talking about astrology because astrology is the man holding the bucket of water. It's the end of Pisces. Now we are in Aquarius. And of course, Luke 24:36, the risen Savior, the Sun. Now, the Sun is also born on the 25th Virgin, just like Horus, Mithra, Buddha, Krishna, Hermes, and thousands of other gods, all born on the 25th of December. Well, it's because the Sun moves 1 degree northward on the 25th of December. And on the 22nd to the 24th, it stays in the same degree because it's moving south. But then on the 22nd, it stays in the same degree on the Southern Crux constellation. And the ancients called this the Sun dies on a cross, because the cross is the Crux constellation, the Southern Cross. And it stays on that same degree for 3 days on the cross. The Sun dies on a cross, and then on the 25th, moves 1 degree northward, bringing back the summer, the light, the warmth, the growth of crops. And this is the Sun being reborn again, a virgin, because it's pure. And here's Mithra, another sun god before Jesus was around, before Christianity. It was Mithraism, and Mithra. Ra is Ra, the sun god, Egypt. It's all about Ra, the sun. You see the crown of thorns on Jesus' head, symbolizing the rays of the sun. And here are the rays of the sun on the back of Mithra's head. Krishna, the sun. Buddha, the sun. Horus, horizon. All born virgins, all did miracles, all resurrected. Dead for 3 days. Well, here he is, dead for 3 days on the cross. And resurrected. Because it's the most ancient religion ever been on the face of the earth. The worship of the sun. And we should worship the sun, because without the sun, we are nothing. The sun feeds us, feeds the earth, feeds everything. Without the sun, we are nothing. It's been reversed, and now we're worshipping man. When we're worshipping a man called Jesus, was never real. It's all about the sun, the most high, the most powerful, potent, celestial body in the sky, the orb that feeds us every day. It dies for our sins and rises every day. It's the sun. Now on the Holy Communion Day, it's the worship of the sun. They give out mini suns. It's Jesus holding a sun. And they raise the sun on Sunday, because they go to worship their sun god on Sunday. Not Saturn Day, not Moon Day, Monday, but on Sunday when the sun is exalting. And they hold suns up above their heads because the sun rises. They're symbolizing the sun rising above their heads. A savior. It's the sun. It's the Holy Communion Day. And here's Jesus giving a piece of himself to the children. It's the sun, the light. Judas was known as a backbiter, a backstabber, because he stabbed Jesus in the back. He betrayed Jesus. Well, this is just another astrological story about the constellation Scorpio, because the Scorpio is the J. Looks like a J. J for Judas, the scorpion, the backbiter. Scorpions backbite. They bite with their back. And what does Judas do? He betrays Jesus by him to let the warriors know who they need to get. So he kisses Jesus, and Jesus gets stabbed in the back. Well, when you get stung or bit by a scorpion, they leave like a kiss. So Judas kisses him and gets betrayed. Well, this is because the sun, when it hits Libra, it's balanced. The sun is balanced. Because through summer, now the sun's starting to die. The sun's starting to die. It hits Libra. And then as soon as it hits the Scorpio, it gets betrayed, because now the sun has to fall to winter. And Saturn is there waiting to take over the darkness of the winter. So he gets stabbed in the back by Scorpio. Judas, the scorpion, the backstabber. You see, it's an astrological story. Here's Mary. Mary means marry, which means pure. The sun is pure. No one gave birth to the sun but the God. And it's born every day. It's born every day, on every year. It's born pure. There was no controversy. There was no, activity for the sun to be born. It's pure. Now, the 7 metals come from the 7 planets. The sun gives you gold, and this is why the sun is golden. It looks gold. And this is why the banks are backed by gold, because gold is the most valuable metal, because it's the sun, the most valuable celestial orb in the sky, in the heavens. Well, here's Jesus, another ancient symbol of him being crucified on the cross with the big sun, the Southern Crux constellation. The sun dies on the cross constellation. And if you go to the old etymology dictionaries, you will see sun and son is the same word. They come from the same etymology roots. You can use them for no matter what, but they've been confused today. But if you go back to the old dictionaries of etymology, they are interchangeable. You can use them. Son, sun, sol, it's all the same thing. The 12 disciples, 12 brothers of Joseph, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 breastplates on stones, because it's all the 12 astrological signs. They could have used any other number, but there's 12. Because 12 is the mind, which is God. 7 is the number of matter, which is man. 7 energy centers in the body. 12 cranial nerves in the brain, because it's the mind. 12 is the 12ness. The zodiac is literally the mind of God, the signs of God. Now here we see here, Job 38, 31 to 33. Can you lead forth a constellation in the season? He's asking you, can you read the sky? Can you read the heavens? Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in its season? Mazzaroth means 12 signs, the zodiac. Why did they translated every single Hebrew word in the Bible into English, but they decided to leave out Mazzaroth? Why? It's because if that said zodiac, Christians would have a different view on the Bible, but they leave that out. But Mazzaroth actually means the 12 signs, the zodiac. And the stars means sign. The word stars means sign because the stars are signs, things to come, which is off in Hebrew, which means sign, things to come. You see a sign on the road, it's something coming. But God is saying, no, what does he say? To qualify as a director, a judge of man's life on earth, one must be able to govern the heavenly bodies that rule the earth. It's telling you to read the heavens. We need to read the heavens. Astrology, the 12 zodiac signs, the mind of God. It's telling you, read the Mazzaroth, read the zodiac, because they are things to come in your life. They are signs. It's not satanic, it's made by God. God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs. Signs are things to come. The 12 zodiac signs. It's all about astrology. Here's Mary holding the sun. His son, her son. It's the sun in the sky. The one and only, the most high. The soul, the solo because it's on its own. The most powerful, Ra, radiance. Here's the Pope holding the sun. All 3 popes holding the sun, because they're sun worshippers and they know the true meaning and origins behind Christianity. Sun worship. The Vatican is a sundial. Yes, this is literally a clock. Your clock, your watch is a sundial. It's got 12 sections on it for the 12 zodiac signs. 12 hours, 12 horuses. And here you see Jesus walking on water. Well, it's the sun. And here's the beard of the sun. Here's the pyramid of the sun, the illuminated one, the all-seeing eye, the sun. Here's the Ankh. The sun creates these symbols. The ancients knew this. Now, when you see these headdresses, these are actually the days of procession of the sun. Aries, Cancer, Libra. It's all about the sun. Here's some more sun worship going back to Egypt. Ra, Horus, Osiris, and Set. Jesus and Satan is Horus and Set. The sun and Saturn. Saturn rules the winter, Satan. Jesus, the sun, the light of the world, rules the summer, rules the day. Satan's the night, Saturn's the night, the sun is the day. The evil brother, Satan. Well, Horus comes, this is where we get the word hours from. There are 12 Horuses. The sun moves in 12 Horuses, 12 hours. Where's Horus? What hour is it? Where's Horus? His Ra, 12 noon, Ra, radiates, powerful, the most high sun. That's why he has a sun on the top of his head. These are the 4 states of the sun. Set, sunset. This is why we say sunset, because the sun is setting. His sunset, his Horus, horizon. The Horus is rising, Ra radiating, and the sunset. The midnight is Osiris. Here's another ancient symbol for the sun, the scarab. Ra, the sun, scarab. It's got the word Ra in it because it's the sun. Here's the sun on top of the scarab with the wings. Because scarabs roll dung up hills, and then they'll let it fall down the hill to gain more matter. To gain more, bigger, like a snowball effect. And the ancients saw this as a process of the sun, because the sun climbs up the hill and then it falls. So they use the scarab to symbolize the process of the sun. The sun climbs and falls. Here's an ancient Egyptian cat cutting off the head of the serpent. Well, the cat is cutting off the head of the serpent, symbolizes the sun cutting off the nighttime. When the sun rises, it cuts off the nighttime. It cuts off the serpent. The serpents represent darkness or evil. And there's some more symbology of the sun and the heavens, the arch, the royal arch, firmament, the sun inside the firmament. These are all ancient churches. and they all depict the firmament, but the sun inside is the ancient cosmology. You see, because it's all about the sun. Everything's about the sun, because the sun is our orb made for us to sustain life. And this inside of this creation, inside of this firmament, the royal arch of heaven. There's the Freemasons depicting it. Here's the Masonic royal arch, but you can even see the zodiac signs. Here's Cancer, the checkered board. It's the royal arch of the firmament. Obviously, they don't want to tell you that. You live in space, apparently. Some more sun worship. Here's the beard of the sun on the water. They all have this long beard. And why do they say amen? Amen at the end of every prayer. Amen is a sun god, a creator god. It's all about the sun. So thank you all, people. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all gained some knowledge and insight. Please give me a follow, drop a comment, drop a like. Have a good day. Love you all.
What is good, people? We're back with another video, and this is going to be talking about the connection between the micro and the macro. You know, you are the universe, everything is inside of you. So the first thing you need to understand is that the law of mentalism, we are a thought in the creator's mind, everything's being thought into existence. We have a spark of this mind, this same mind of the creator, and everything is a state of mind. Particles or atoms, whatever you want to call them, are a mental thing. They're a product of the mind, everything's thought into existence. Thoughts influence everything. Thoughts are energetic effects which send out waves into the quantum field around you. And your consciousness is actually the universe experiencing itself, expressing itself, and viewing itself. So we are the creator, but viewing itself in separate bodies. And this is why they call the material world the world of illusions, because everything's separate here, but we all forget that we are all one. We've all been brainwashed to think we're all separate, but we're all one. We're all the same mind, the same consciousness, everything. So everything's created out of toroidal fields. God created the toroidal field. That's the only thing that exists, because atoms are toroidal fields, and it's the basis behind all creation. As you can see it in the owl's eyes, it creates the infinity symbol. And this was the apple. The apple is a toroidal field, and the toroidal field is made out of dielectricity, which is ether. Ether is black light, and this is counter space. This is another realm. This is what creates God to be omnipresent, to be everywhere at one place at all times. He is everywhere because ether is everywhere. And ether is infinite potential. It connects everything together, and that's what energy moves through. It moves through the ether, and that's black light. Everything is light, as it says in John 4:2. God is light. Everything's a vibrational state of light. So the torus field is made out of dielectricity, ether, black light, magnetism, which is white light, which is the center of the toroidal field. And magnetism radiates; it has no vibration. And then when white light splits, it turns into electricity, which is physical material, and that has a vibration. This is the Holy Trinity: the sun, the moon, Saturn. Saturn, the god of materialism. If you've watched my videos on Saturn, you know that Saturn is crystallizing everything into physical matter. And that's why his old name was El. The ancients called him El. And this is why we get El electricity. This is where electricity comes from, because El electricity is only a product of the physical world, which is redshift, blue shift, Adam and Eve. And this is what creates the redshift, blue shift is what is a product of magnetism, where magnetism, white light splits. And this gives us vibration. And this is what creates the toroidal field, which is the basis of all physical creation. The sine wave is created out of the magnetic wave and the electric wave. The electric wave is the blue wave, and the magnetic wave is the straight wave, which is radiation. This is vibration frequency. So the magnetic wave is straight, and then you have longitude and amplitude, which is depth, which is dimension. You see how the electric wave has depth and dimension. This is why you get the cross. This is the cross of Earth. This is the symbol of Earth, of bondage, of physical matter, because it consists of magnetic wave and depth, which is electric wave. I mean, this is where you get the sun cross or the earth cross, whatever you want to call it. It's the cross of physical matter, and the ancients knew this. This is why they use that symbol. Redshift, blue shift, which is the toroidal field, is the basis of all creation, physical creation. And this is why you have the police siren is red and blue. The Matrix movie, red pill, blue pill. You have red blood and blue blood in your body. The Democrat and Republic, the two parties, red and blue. Like your taps and your taps, you have a red and blue tap. One's generative and one's destruction. Fire, destruction, water, generative. So this is the basis of things. Electric wave as dimension, like I've already said, depth material, and it's measured in hertz. It's measured in hertz because it hurts you, it decays, because the electric wave has a vibration, and vibration always has to go back to a standstill point. This wave cannot go forever, but the magnetic wave will go forever. It's radiation. Magnetic is radiation. It radiates forever, it pulses, but the electric wave will at some point come back to a standstill point, and that's why it hurts, it decays. That's why our physical body decays, because we contain of electricity. This body is an electric body, and it will return back to stillness like a guitar string. If you vibrate a guitar string, you pull it, it will vibrate, make a sound, and then go back to a standstill point. It's the exact same with every single toroidal field within the body. It will decay, and this is why our bodies decay, and everything in creation decays. So we're born into sin. The sin of Eve. The sin of Eve is us biting into the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is the systems in the body. And the sin of Eve is biting into the sine wave. We bit into the sine wave. The sun moves in a sine wave. Our DNA is a sine wave. Time is a sine wave. Everything in this creation is a sine wave. This is why the dollar bill is a sine wave. Magnetism and electric waves in one. And this is the sun doing its sine wave, which creates when you go bowling, it kind of creates that pin that you hit over. That's the pin of the sun. The zodiac sign is a sine wave, because the zodiac sign is an expression of the toroidal field, because magnetism unfolds into 12ness. And that's why you have 12 zodiac signs, 12 systems in your body, 12 cranial nerves in your head, in your brain. So if you can imagine this, see where my pointer is. Always starts with Aries. Aries is the head. It's the first thing that's created in the womb. And this is Aries, the ram. And this is why it's called a cerebrum in your brain, which is the first thing that creates when you're in the womb. And what's the element of Aries is fire. Fire is the first element. Fire, first, because it's the first thing on the wheel, the first expression of energy. As you can see here, my pointer, this is the center of the toroidal field. It would go Aries, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Then we go back to Libra. Libra would be center. But you see how the toroidal field is the expression of the 12 energies. That's what the constellations are, the energy expressions of the toroidal field. So it would go outwards, starting from Aries here, all the way back to Pisces, which is beyond the bottom half. But Libra would be the center. That's why Libra is the equinox. It's the equinox. Libra is when it goes from summer over to autumn. It's the equal. It starts to transition into the winter side. Equinox, equal, which is Libra. And that's why Libra has the two scales. It's symbolized with the two scales. That's because of, the sun moving over. It's being judged. It's equal now, but then it's going to tip over into the winter. That's why Libra is here, the center of the sine wave. And like I said before, magnetic energy unfolds into 12ness. Magnesium is number 12 on the periodic table. It's the sacred number. And this is why the scientists are trying to, NASA is trying to bring in another constellation to destroy the holy science of astrology. So Aries rules the head, which is Mars. Taurus rules the neck, the lower head. Gemini, the two twins, which is your lungs, your two twins, your arms, two twins. Cancer, the breasts, or the chest area. Leo, the heart, which is the sun, which is fire, the center of the toroidal field. Virgo, the belly, which is the intestines. Libra, the kidneys, the two scales, the kidneys, balancing out everything. Scorpio, the sex organs. Sagittarius, hips and thighs. Capricorn, I've missed that out, which is the kneecaps. Capricorn, kneecap. Aries, which is the ram, which is the cerebrum in your brain. And then Aquarius, the calves and the ankles. And the Pisces, the two fish, the 2 feet. So everything corresponds, as you can see here. This is an ancient way of depicting it, of the folded human. And this is everything. Each constellation rules that part of the body, gives energy to that part of the body, makes you do certain things. So magnetic energy unfolds into 12ness, electricity unfolds into 7s. That's why when you get electric, the light spectrum that we see, it consists of 7 colors. Why we have 7 planets. The 7 planets give us our 7 metals and the 7 solfeggio scale frequencies. So the rotor, this is the rotor. And rotor is an anagram for Torah. The Torah, which is I think it's the Hebrew Bible. Don't quote me on that, but it's one of the holy books, which is the Torah, the Taurus. Everything goes back to the Taurus field because it's the basis of all creation. So the chief cornerstone, it says in the Bible that the builders rejected the chief cornerstone. The chief cornerstone, you are the builder. You decided to incarnate into the physical world, into the electric world, the world of El, Saturn. When you are created in the womb, it takes you 9 months for you to be created. So, for example, if you went into the womb here, it'd take you 9 months. So let's say you're born in Scorpio. So you go back 9 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You consist of all of these 9 energies because it takes 9 months or however long you took to be born. Some people are born earlier. You'd have to find out how many months you were in the womb for. You consist of these 9 energies, and each constellation has a cell salt associated with it. And these cell salts are vital for your health, and your cells and the optimal health of your body. So the chief cornerstone that you rejected is these 3 cell salts, these 3 constellations. So you're mineral deficient in these 3 constellations, for example, fluoride, magnesium, phosphate, and potassium sulfate. So that's the chief cornerstone. And a cornerstone, people always get it rejected with the cornerstone. The cornerstone is not, it doesn't say the cornerstone in the Bible, it says the chief cornerstone. The cornerstone is a cornerstone of a building, but the chief cornerstone is the top of the pyramid. This is why we get the pyramid of the wheel. So you're mineral deficient in whatever 3 zodiac signs you're not. You are not in the womb for. This is the chief cornerstone you rejected. So the human body is the micro. It is the universe in a physical form. It consists of everything in the universe. Just like your consciousness is the universe, watching
Spelled
itself,
wrong.
experiencing itself. Your body is the whole universe. 12 systems in the body, 12 zodiac signs, 7 chakras are the 7 planets. The Holy Trinity of you is your temple of Solomon, the soul and the mind, the sun and the moon. No, everything is in you. You consist of everything, all the energies, everything. Heaven and hell. Heaven and hell is a mind state. It's a state of the mind. Head, H-E-A, which is heaven, and the heel, the bottom of your foot, is hell. And the bottom of your foot is the soul. So they're basically saying, well, it's wordplay. They're saying that your soul is in hell because, with the elites being in control. So they call the bottom of your foot the soul, trying to say that you're in hell. The Christ is in you. And this Christ is Greek for Christos. And Christos is Greek for the oil. And this oil is produced in the cerebrum, the Aries, the ram, the cerebrum. It goes down the pineal, the pineal and the pituitary underneath the cerebrum. Goes down the Pingala and the Ida. The Pingala being the positive charge connected to the pineal gland, pin, and the Ida connected to the pituitary. And this is the 2 serpents going down the spinal column. And this is why Jesus goes from Nazareth to Bethlehem, and then Joseph and Mary are waiting for Jesus in Nazareth. Joseph and Mary are the pineal and the pituitary gland waiting for Jesus to come back up the River Jordan or the spinal column. So this is the oil. This is the story of Santa as well. Santa comes from the North Pole. Why? Because the North Pole of the Earth is the center of the toroidal field, and the North Pole of you is your spinal column, which is the North Pole of the toroidal field. The North Pole, he comes from the North Pole. This is the North Pole. This is the South Pole of the toroidal field. Comes from the North Pole, which is your mind. And he goes down the chimney and then back up the chimney. This is the chimney. And he drops off the present, which is the Christos, the oil. And this is why Jesus is crucified at 33, because he crosses over the vagus nerve at the top of your spine. When this oil comes back up the 33 vertebrae, these are your vertebrae here. When it goes up the 33 vertebrae, it gets crucified at 33 because it crosses the vagus nerve, and he's crucified on a cross at 33. This is the story behind Jesus and Santa. The Ark of the Covenant in the Bible is the 2 hemispheres which cover the vital parts of your mind, the brain side, which is the cerebrum, the pineal, the pituitary, etc. So the 2 hemispheres are the 2 angels, the Ark of the Covenant. This is the Ark of the Covenant covering the 2 vital parts of your brain. So these are the optic thalamus is another part, and it protects the Christ oil, which is inside at the center of the brain. See, the Bible is all a massive metaphor about yourself because you are the universe. You are a microcosm of the universe. Your consciousness has experienced itself, and the universe experiencing, and your body is the whole universe. Your head's heaven. So Moses crosses the Red Sea. These are the 2 hemispheres of your brain. This is the corpus callosum, the Red Sea. So he's pretty much saying that he's uniting the 2 hemispheres of your brain, because most people in this generation are stuck in the left brain, which is just logic, reasoning, science and maths, writing. This is what school teaches you to do. It keeps you stuck in your left brain. And you want to cross over to the Red Sea, which is the corpus callosum, to the right brain, which is awareness, creativity, imagination, intuition, insight. Using the higher mind, creativity, imagination. If you don't have intuition, then you can't read energy, you can't pick up on bad things. This is what Moses is symbolizing by crossing the Red Sea. And it's also the upper room where Jesus met the 12 disciples. 12 disciples are the 12 cranial nerves in your brain. It doesn't just represent the 12 zodiac signs. The 12 disciples symbolizes many different things. It's like I said, the universe consists of 12ness. So you have 12 cranial nerves in your brain. And that's the 12 disciples as well. And they want you stuck in your left brain, which is the 5 senses, materialism. So they say in the Bible that Satan blinds the mind. Satan is Saturn. If you've watched my videos, Satan is Saturn. And you consist of the Holy Trinity, which is the sun, moon, and earth. The soul, moon, the soul being the sun, the solar, the moon being your mind, the earth, your physical body. And Satan blinds the mind. Why? Because we enter a soul system. This is a soul system, not a solar system. And Saturn is the Lord of the Rings, which is the outer ring. When your soul enters the soul system, your soul starts to materialize. It hits Saturn. Why? Because Saturn starts to materialize you. You take on the 7 virtues, which are the 7 planets, which are your 7 chakras. And to get out of this soul system, you must get out of your lower nature, your animal nature, which is lust, desire, greed. You know, the number of the beast 666, which is Saturn, Satan. So you enter the soul system, you take on the 7 energies, which you turn into physical matter. And this is your descension from heaven to say hell. And then you must raise back up from matter to spirit. They say Satan blinds the mind. Why? Because your mind gets materialized, your soul and mind get materialized. And when you get materialized, it's an intense experience. You lose the divinity within you. You forget the divinity. So Satan, which is the first planet, the first energy you take on, the material body, he blinds the mind. He makes you forget everything, your divinity. Then you must remember, ascend up Jacob's ladder, the 33 vertebrae, to heaven. And this is a microcosm of the macro, because you will ascend back up to heaven if you do this when you leave your physical body, when your body decays. So when it talks about in the Bible, completely destroy them, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, all the ites, this is what God says to the Israelites. It says completely destroy them. It's basically symbolizing saying destroy your lower nature. The Canaanites, cannibals. We're under a Canaanite system now, which is cannibalism. And this is flesh eating, lust, greed, all the demonic stuff, all the lower vibrational stuff, you know, the lower nature, eating, sex, and survival, the lower 3 chakras. You must get out of these lower 3 chakras and return back to spirit, which is heaven, which is spirit, love, being holy, being truthful, being passionate. Going back to Satan blinding the mind, all of the planets are made out of these 3 symbols. Satan blinds the mind, and that's why Satan's symbol, this is the symbol for Saturn, Satan, this symbol for Saturn is the cross, which is physical matter, the earth, over the moon is your mind. So the Saturn symbol saying matter over mind, he blinds the mind, Satan blinds the mind once you enter the soul system. And you must remember, in the Bible, it talks about the Genesis, which is Eve, the sin of Eve, which is biting of the tree of knowledge, with the serpent, which wraps around the tree. It says the serpent placed himself on the tree. Well, the serpent is the spinal column. It's the serpent telling you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is your nervous system. And eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil is doing bad things. For example, over-sexualized, overeating, eating the wrong food. That's eating from your nervous system. It's decaying you, and it's preventing you from achieving the God self, the God consciousness. This is the symbolism of, you know, the tree on the serpent, telling you to eat from the left brain, with the left brain being the sinister. Sinister is Latin for left. That's sin. Sin is left. And left is lefty Lucy, Lucifer, right, righteousness, right, God, godly. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is your nervous system, because it determines good or bad. You know, that's the only thing you experience in this world is your nervous system. And then the tree of life is the cardiovascular system, and the Garden of Eden is your body. So that's it for this video, people. Hope you've got a greater understanding of how you are the universe and everything is inside of you. Just keep in mind you are the universe experience in itself, and your body is a reflection of everything. The 12 constellations, the 7 planets, everything's inside of you. This world is an expression from the inside outwards. You can't affect the outside world to manipulate reality. Everything's inside of you. I hope you got a greater understanding of this. God bless. In the text, he could communicate with 72 demons, and this is sorcery. This is magic. Now, this symbol is associated with hexing people. When you place a hex on someone, that is a form of witchcraft, which a hex is just a curse. When you're cursing someone, you see? And this creates the number 5. Programs are, so when you're in it, from your childhood, what you've learned in school, all of these things are being kept in your subconscious, maybe traumas and stuff like that. So the subconscious is the astral to the physical. It's the dimension between the physical realm, which we're on, and the astral. So it has pure potential. It's pure energy. This is why we say I either want to go there or there. It's connecting 2 scenarios. That's what the ether is. It's connecting the 2 worlds, the astral and the physical. The center is like the cosmic womb. There's a black hole in the center. This is the center of the torus field. This is the womb of creation. This is the womb of creation. And inside of this black womb are the 5 elements, and everything's being stirred around.
See that November you're on Rumble. It's nice to see you. I'm just curious. Where are you landing now on the, you don't have to tell me, but on the shape of the Earth, have you switched? Are you still a flat plane of inertia that we're living on, or are you a globe Earth now? I don't mean to put you on the spot. You don't have to answer.
Everything's
It
in
doesn't
motion.
matter. No
Light is
judgment
motion. Everything's
at all.
motion. Now, like I said earlier, light crystallizes into physical matter. They are the same substance. Spirit and matter are the same substance, different variations, different aspects of the same substance. Low vibrational spirit turns into matter. High vibrational matter turns into spirit. Or light, whatever you want to call it. Matter is light crystallized. This is where we get the 7 metals from. The planets. The planets are light. Specific frequencies and vibrations of light. When these lights, or the planets, materialize, material metals materialize, they turn into the 7 metals. Saturn turns into lead. That's why lead is red. Saturn is red. The sun turns into gold. That's why the gold is yellow, and the sun is yellow. You see, Saturn is the time god. What happens in autumn? The leaves turn red, and they die. This is why Saturn, Satan, time god, the reaper, everything is crystallized till it's dead, and then reborn again. You see, rust, when things rust, it turns to red. Because it's Saturn. Saturn crystallizes everything. He's the reaper who comes around in winter. You see? He's Satan. Jesus and Satan, the sun and Saturn.
Okay, super interesting, but like just with the sound quality, I don't know. But I'm already, oh my God, almost an hour in, or sorry, almost 2 hours in, an hour and a half. The Origins and End of the Globe Earth Model, Non-Parallel Sun Rays by Brian's Logic. I want to share a bit of this.
Well, how are you doing? This is a video titled, as you can see in orange, as The Origins and End of the Globe Earth Model, Non-Parallel Sun Rays. I got this, it's kind of an add-on to the last video I made, where I am showing where the actual radius calculation for the globe Earth came from. But I was watching one of Rachie and 50's videos today, and it was on parallel sun rays, and it reminded me that that is actually a good progression as a second video onto the back of the last one I made. So I will share Rachie's video. Contrary to popular belief, the one-way speed of light was never actually measured. Nobody in the history of the world has ever measured the one-way speed of light, and possibly nobody ever will. Why this is important in a video about non-parallel sun rays is because it is officially claimed that sun rays are parallel, and the reason that they claim this is due to a belief that the sun is a very big and very far away, a claimed distance of 93 million statute miles, or 1 astronomical unit, as the AU is defined as the exact distance between the globe Earth and heliocentric sun. The sun is claimed to be 8.03 light minutes away from us, and they determined this via a claimed two-way speed of light measurement. But there was never a two-way speed of light measurement made, as logically there can't be if there is no one-way speed of light measurement. Then how could there be a two-way speed of light measurement? So what actually is the two-way speed of light claim all about? Well, for a start, it's not a measurement, but only a calculation that is solely based on a belief, when in actuality it is based on 4 pre-assumptions and 2 averages. To explain, I'm going to read down through these first, and then I will go back over them. The following are those pre-assumptions and averages. The pre-assumptions: 1, that the Earth is a globe with an average radius of 3,959 miles. 2, that the sun is also a sphere of a particular size and at a particular distance. 3, that the Earth as a globe is orbiting around the sun. 4, that Kepler's analemma is correct and true without question. The averages: 1, the average radius of a globe Earth. 2, the average distance of a globe Earth from the sun over a 12-month period. Okay, just quickly I'll go through them with some bit more explanation. 1, of the pre-assumptions: 1, that the Earth is a globe with an average radius of 3,959 miles. The average radius of a globe Earth is used within the two-way speed of light calculation, not a polar radius or an equatorial radius, the average radius of a globe Earth. 2, that the sun is also a sphere of a particular size and at a particular distance. That's the second pre-assumption. That the sun is also a sphere or globe shape, and it is of a particular size and at a particular distance. Okay, so that is, they already pre-assume the distance that they're basing the speed of light on, the two-way speed of light calculation on, but the two-way speed of light calculations is also supporting the distance. It's circular nonsense, right? It's just pre-assumption. So they have to pre-assume, like, basically use a radius for their heliocentric sun that's of a particular size and at a particular distance, which is 93 million miles away, or 1 AU. 1 AU is 93 million miles away, kind of thing, and 93 million miles away is 1 AU. So one supports the other, but none of them are backed by anything, right? So next, 3, the third pre-assumption, that the Earth as a globe is orbiting around the sun. So that's the third pre-assumption, that the sun is stationary and the Earth is moving. Third pre-assumption. Fourth pre-assumption, that Kepler's analemma is correct and true without question. This is the fourth and the most important of all the pre-assumptions, is that Kepler's analemma is correct and true without question, which means that without questioning it, that the globe Earth is orbiting around the sun in an offset elliptical orbit, and it's 3 million miles closer to the sun in the southern summer and 3 million miles further from the sun in the northern summer. And so this is just all a pre-assumption based on Kepler. But Kepler was an astrologer, and Kepler knew the original sun cycle. Tycho Brahe would have used the original sun cycle because he was a geocentrist, as far as I know, and Kepler was an assistant to him. So the thing about it is that Kepler basically just, all he did was amalgamate the original sun cycle with the Copernican model of the solar system model, and he just back-engineered it into the Copernican model. That's what Kepler did, and that's why there's a 23.4 degree tilt to the globe Earth, and why the globe Earth is closer and further at different times of the year to the heliocentric sun. There's all pre-assumption based on absolutely nothing. People think it's based on observations. The only thing Kepler could observe, right? The only thing he could see, right, is the sun, and while he's watching it, it's moving, so he'd have to keep moving. So it's a case of, I must be moving then. But that's not the logical answer, is it? The logical answer is, I don't feel any movement. There's no way to tell that there's any movement. I see the sun moving. So it's the sun that's moving. So Kepler was just a con man. The averages, the average radius of a globe, right? So they have to use the average radius of a globe, the 3959, not the 3960 or the 3963 or the 3950. They have to use the 3959, the average. So it's an average. And second, the average distance of a globe Earth from the sun over a 12-month period. That brings us back to Kepler's analemma, because the globe Earth is at a different distance from the sun every day. Every hour. It's changing its distance from the sun constantly. So within that model. So there is never a consistent distance from the globe Earth is never a consistent distance from the heliocentric sun. It's always changing its rate of motion around the sun, changing its distance from the sun, and changing its position in accordance to the sun, blah, blah, blah. So it's all a pre-assumption. So 4 pre-assumptions and 2 averages. That's what the two-way speed of light is based on. So, based on nothing. So the two-way speed of light is just based on belief, just an agreed upon convention for ease of heliocentric calculation, nothing to be taken seriously or used within a debate as a factual measurement. So if the heliocentric sun is claimed to be 8.03 light minutes away from Earth, and this claim is based on a two-way speed of light calculation, and this two-way speed of light calculation is based on nothing, then any claims involving a distance and / or size to the sun in our sky that are based on this calculation in any way can rightfully be thrown out as folly. So why is this so important to claim that the sun's rays are parallel? Because the only reason that the claim that the sun's rays are parallel even exists is because of this massive distance that the heliocentric sun is claimed to be from us. And because of the then huge diameter that the sun has to have if it is that actual distance away. But as we can clearly see with logical and sane minds, the whole claim is based on nothing. And the sun's rays being parallel is only a claim that must be made by those who wish to live within a fantasy created by a two-way speed of light calculation, that in reality is clearly a load of rubbish. So there is nothing to base this claim that the sun rays are parallel on, other than the belief that the sun is a particular size and a particular distance. And this is all based around the two-way speed of light calculation that is based on absolutely nothing. 4 pre-assumptions that are based on heliocentrism, and 2 averages that are also based on heliocentrism. So the whole thing is a joke. It is clearly a load of rubbish. Now, reality. So here are some images of the sun rays, okay? As you can see, I'll make it bigger. As you can see, they are not parallel, but divergent all the time. So here we have all these rays being divergent, never parallel. We never see parallel sun rays. And you know why? Because they don't exist. Because like all light, the sun's light and any light from any celestial object has to adhere to the inverse square law of light. There's no way around that. Light always diverges from the source. Regardless of where it's coming from, what the shape is, it diverges from the source. It never, even lasers start to diverge, and they're the most concentrated.
Yep.
They're the most concentrated light we have. There's no more concentrated light than lasers that I'm aware of. There's no more concentrated light than that. Lasers are like a super microwave signal. That's where they came from, microwave signals. The original name for a laser is a maser. The M stood for microwave. See, diverging, always diverging, never converging. That's reality. You know why? Because in reality, the two-way speed of light calculation has no basis. That's why. You know, so there's no need to claim that the sun must have parallel rays. There's no need for that. You know, it's not important. We don't experience curvature. We don't experience drop. We don't experience parallel sun rays. We don't experience all that. What we experience is flat with topography, and we experience diverging sun rays. That's reality. For those who are sane and wish to avoid mental illness, then this is a reality. You know, you just have to accept it.
Localized sunspots. Anyway, Secrets of the Cosmos. Second video of the day. So on that note, I will leave it at that. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of your day.